Barakatah Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Rakah, Kodash, Tawada, Amen. Double honors to the apostles of GMS, Gabar, Rakah, Rhyme Lab, and Tahar. And double honors to all the camps on the highways and byways doing the work in the name of Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Rakah, Kodash, in truth and sincerity. Okay, today we're going to be talking about the stumbling block, Israel's stumbling block, the stumbling block of the different Israelite camps that we've got out there on the highways and byways. We have a stumbling block with these camps when it comes to the truth and certain things, when it comes to the scriptures. There are several things, and you'd come across several camps that will have several different meanings and for certain things, when we know there's only one truth, one interpretation, one scripture. There's no two truths, three truths, four truths, different truths on the scriptures. They all lead back to the same one truth, whether it's a reincarnation of the Roman Empire, Babylon the Great, then and now, they all lead to the one same singular truth. Okay? The most probably at this right moment right now, the particular moment now, the most controversial thing that's going on right now is the mark of the beast, which we all know is the RFID chip. There isn't no ifs, buts, or maybes. That's what it is. It's the RFID chip. It's a physical thing. So we have several camps out there, different camps out there, like Adam Abbott's, that don't believe that it's the RFID chip. Adam Abbott's believe it's religion, philosophy, yeah, the image. You got people like, I might have to quickly show because I did bring him up on the screen. So you got these people here that are leading their camp astray. Absolutely, yeah. I call them the motley crew because they have the zeal of the Most High, but not a calling to knowledge, yeah. But I call these guys the motley crew. So this is one of the camps out there that's leading them astray. Adam Abbott's, specifically on the mark of the beast, which is the RFID chip. The other ones is these guys here, Zabak. They've got the zeal of the Most High, but not according to knowledge. Once again, why? This is another camp that's misleading the people on what the RFID chip is and what the mark of the beast is. Yeah, they're saying, just like Adam Abbott's, they say it's religion, it's faith, it's the image, it's to do with a belief system. All right, and we say to them before that it is a physical thing. It's a physical thing. If it was to do with the belief system or religion, then we would have been, our people would have had the mark of the beast. The Israelites would have had the mark of the beast going all the way back to the times of, right back to Moses, when Moses went up to the Sinai to get the Lord's commandments and statute, when they built the golf calf and they were worshipping the golf calf. That would have been the first indication of the mark of the beast, since it's some idolatry or some other religion or belief system. Okay, or when our people became Hellenized and was worshipping the Greek gods, they would have all had the mark of the beast, because a lot of Israelites became Hellenized and was worshipping Zeus, Saturn, Mars, Venus. They were worshipping Roman gods that were Greek gods and so forth. A lot of people was involved in that. When we went to the west coast of Africa after 70 AD, after the Romans besieged Jerusalem in 70 AD and we fled to the west coast of Africa, if it was religion, if the mark of the beast was religion, then all of our people would have had the mark of the beast then on the west coast of Africa, because a lot of our people got involved in idolatry, got involved in a lot of these Hamite idolatry, different religions and belief systems. Basically, a lot of our people followed Islam, so all of those would have had the mark of the beast. All of those that converted to Islam. By their statement alone, what they're saying is that if we go right back to the days of King David, Solomon, Ahab, I'm just trying to think of the kings, Jehoshaphat, we had Ahab and his false prophets, right? Got all of the northern kingdom to be following his thing. Jehoshaphat was another king of Israel, yeah. You had Zimri was another king that had them. Ahab was the son of Omri, and he did a lot of evil in Israel. He had them following Baal, and they were and Ahab was following that of Jeroboam. Jeroboam was before him. He was the son of Nehab. His wife was Jezebel, if you remember. That was the daughter of Baal, the king of the Zidonians. And he went and did what? He went and served Baal and worshipped him. So he would have had the mark of the beast if it was religion, another religion, belief system, and so forth. Yeah. So what my point there is that these kings would have had the mark of the beast before John the Revelator got the revelation from the angel, from Yahushua to the angel, from the angel basically that was given to him from Yahushua to bring to John the Revelator on the island of Patmos when he was speaking of the mark of the beast, when he wrote it down in Revelations 13 and 6. What we're saying then is that, what these guys are saying then is that all of these different kings, from like all the ones that I've just mentioned to you, from Zimri to Ahab to Jeroboam to Nebat to, you know, all the different kings, especially in the northern kingdom. The northern kingdom was going on with a whole heap of idolatry. Jehoshaphat, remember Jeroboam expelled all of the Levite priests and appointed his own priest, right? And they were worshipping different gods for different religions, from different societies, from different nations, from the Edomites' gods to the Ammonites' gods to the Moabites' gods. They had all those different worshipping. So what they would be telling you then is that the Israelites would have had the mark of the beast before the prophecy of the mark of the beast even came about, before John the Revelator even knew about this thing that was going to befall the nation of Israel and before the whole world, basically. Because remember, it wasn't just going to affect just Israel, it was going to affect the whole world, the mark of the beast. But it was telling Israel not to accept this mark. So what these guys and Adam Abbott would be saying then, because these are the guys that are telling you that the mark of the beast is based on religion, philosophies and image and so forth and that would mean that our people, the Israelites, right, would have had the mark of the beast before the prophecy of the mark of the beast was even put to paper. That would have mean that every other nation that's worshipping every other religion, think about what these guys are saying. It's from your Ammonites. I'm going back to biblical times now, yeah? I'm going back to the times of King David and King Solomon and King Saul, yeah, and the Philistines, yeah? Okay, I'm going back all the way back to Jacob time. So what they would be saying is that the Egyptians would have all had the mark of the beast because they were idol worshippers. They had their own gods, Ra, the sun god, this god, that god. Then you would have said the Ammonites, whose god was it Chemosh? Let me just, because Rehoboam's mother was an Ammonite. Let me just get the name of that god was that he put there. Yeah, okay, so that would have mean that, remember, Solomon married Ashtoreth, right? Married a Zidonian princess and allowed her to build her temple, yeah? He married a Moabite princess, the daughter of Pharaoh, an Ammonite princess, Edomite, a Zidonian, Hittites. Those are the ones that are shown named in the book. And he allowed them to build temples in Israel because that was Solomon's sin for them to worship. So if you go to 1 Kings chapter 11, then you start at the beginning, it says, but King Solomon loved many strange women, together with them the daughter of Pharaoh, the women of the Moabites, Ammonites, Edomites, Zidonians, and Hittites, right? Of the nations concerning which Yahweh said unto the children of Israel, ye shall not go unto them, neither shall you come in unto you. You surely will turn away from your heart after their gods. Solomon clave unto these in love, right? And in he had 700 wives, princesses, and 300 concubines, yeah? And his wives turned away his heart, which they did, right? So it says in verse 4. So we're in chapter 11, verse 4. 1 Kings chapter 11, verse 4. For it came to pass when Solomon was old that his wives turned away his heart after other gods, and his heart was not perfect with Yahweh his power, as was the heart of David his father. For Solomon went after Ashtoreth, the goddess of the Zidonians, and after Melcom, the abomination of the Ammonites. And Solomon did evil in the sight of Yahweh, and went not fully after Yahweh as did David his father. Then did Solomon build an high place for Chemosh, the abominations of the Moabites, in the hill that is before Jerusalem, and for Molech, the abomination of the children of Ammon. And likewise did he for all his strange wives, which burnt incense and sacrifice unto their powers, unto their gods. And Yahweh was angry with Solomon, because his heart was turned from Yahweh, the power of Israel, which appeared unto him twice, and commanded him concerning this thing, that he should not go after other gods, but he kept not that which Yahweh commanded. Wherefore Yahweh said unto Solomon, for so much as this is done of thee, and thou hast not kept my covenant and my statutes which I have commanded thee, I will surely render the kingdom from thee, and will give it to thy servant. Notwithstanding in thy days I would not do it for David's thy father's sake, but I will render it out of thy hand of thy son. Howbeit I will not render away all the kingdom, but I will give one tribe to thy son for David and my servant's sake, and for Jerusalem's sake, which I have chosen. And Yahweh stirred up an adversary unto Solomon, Hadad the Edomite. He was the king's seed in Edom. So Solomon himself went after other gods. Quite clearly, Solomon went after Ashtaroth. Right, so that's verse 5. 1 Kings chapter 11 verse 5, where it says Solomon went after Ashtaroth, the goddess of the Zidonians, and after Milcom, the abomination of the Ammonites. Right, so he went after two other gods in terms of he was praying and worshipping them. So that would mean Solomon would have the mark of the beast, right? Since it's religion, taking on another religion, worshipping another religion is the mark of the beast, the influence of the image and so forth. Solomon Solomon had built high places, what they call like groves, high groves, place of worship for their gods as well in Israel. One was Chemosh, right? That was the Moabites' god. Molech was the god for the Ammonites, right? So it would mean that Solomon didn't just go after other religions. He actually built temples in Israel for them to worship them. So he would be part of spreading the mark of the beast. If the mark of the beast was to do with what these clowns are telling people, religion, faith, the image and so forth. Solomon would be totally guilty of having the mark of the beast. So then he wouldn't be able to receive salvation, because what does it say in Revelations? When you go to Revelations, right? If you go to Revelations 14, right? So it says here, it says, Revelations 14 says, where is it? So Revelation 16, sorry. It's Revelation 16 verse 2, and it says, and the first went and poured out his vial upon the earth, and there fell a noisome and grievous sore upon the men which had the mark of the beast, and upon them which worshipped his image. Right? So if we go to Revelations 14 and 9 now, and it says here, and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels, and in the presence of the Lamb. And the smoke of the torment ascended up forever and ever. And they have no rest day or night, who worship the beast and his image, and whosoever receives the mark of his name. So that would mean, according to their philosophies on what they're trying to tell you what the mark of the beast is that Solomon would be destroyed, right, on Judgment Day, because this is talking about the destruction, what's coming on Judgment Day, the nuclear fallout. That's the fire and brimstone that it speaks of. That's the smoke. That's the smoke that's going to be sending up into the air forever and ever for a very long time, and that's the torment that's gonna hit America. That would mean Solomon would be condemned. He would be here in the reincarnation today to face that judgment and die in the destruction of the fire, of the nuclear fallout. That's what that would mean. That's because King Solomon went after other gods and built temples and groves and high groves and places of worship in Israel for his wives to worship other gods. So Solomon has done everything to lead, according to what they're saying, these guys are saying, to lead people to worship the mark of the beast, to be part of the mark of the beast, to get the mark of the beast, because he was worshipping the god called Ashtaroth, who was a Zidonian, and Milcom, the abominations of the Ammonites, and also he built, like I said, high places in Israel for his wives to worship these heathen gods, right? So that would mean that before the prophecy of the mark of the beast even came about, Solomon would have had the mark of the beast. Do you understand how stupid, I have to say that, how stupid you sound, boy? Little boy. I have to call you a little boy because you're a little boy. And Zabak, I'm not joking, disappointed. And I know, I've seen a video of you, Zabak, where you said that you don't believe the RFID chip is the mark of the beast, but you're not going to take the RFID chip. So if the RFID chip is not the mark of the beast, why won't you take it, Zabak? Why? What's the problem? Since it's not the mark of the beast, since you know, categorically know that RFID chip is not the mark of the beast, why don't you take it, Zabak? Do you understand? Disappointed in you. And like I said, that's because you have the zeal of the Most High, but not according to knowledge, Zabak. Because these things that you're preaching are going to lead people to their death. That's what you must understand. There are many other issues in Israelite camps where they say, okay, some people don't believe that Cornelius was an Israelite. Yeah, we believe and know and understand through scripture that Cornelius, the Roman soldier, was an Israelite, because through the Spirit, the Most High gave him that vision and gave Peter the vision of Cornelius, of the blanket, that he must go and visit this man. And I think he considers clean is unclean and so forth. And it's in Acts 10, it tells you the story of Peter and Cornelius, right? We believe it and we understand it. Some camps don't believe that. That's another stumbling block for them. Some camps don't believe that in the Bible, it speaks of rape. It does. It speaks of taking away a woman, humbling her, and after you've humbled her, and if you decide to stay with her, you give what they call it, tithes, usury to the father for the bride, and she becomes your wife. Because once you've humbled her, she's technically your wife. So now all you've got to do is go through the ceremonial thing. We show that in the Bible. It shows that in the Bible. The Bible speaks of rape in that sense. Yes, it does. Oh my gosh, yes, it's so dark and terrible to hear that, but it's in the Bible. That's another stumbling block for these guys. And for Adam Abbots, yeah? So you tell them that, okay, so those are two other stumbling blocks. The other stumbling block may be for them is that they don't believe that you have some camps out there, not these in particular, not these guys here, but like GCHQ, who believe the Edomites can receive salvation, and we show you in the Bible that they can't receive salvation. And then you have some camps that will believe that that the other nations can receive salvation, and we show them that they can't. That the Gentiles that the Bible speaks of are Israelite Gentiles, and they were Hellenized. They were Hellenized Jews. And they were during the Hellenistic times of Antiochus and so forth, they were all Hellenized, and they become practicing speaking Greek, dressing like Greek, eating, probably starting eating Greek foods and taking on Greek customs, but they were actual Jews. The same thing that happened to the Moors. The Moors were worshipping Islam, but they were Israelites. They were from the tribe of Judah and Benjamin, the actual Moors, but they took on Islam during the conversion, during Muhammad's conversion, during the 7th century. So those are other things that they have issue with, all right? But that's fine. They have issue with those other things. My point I'm going to try to make to you guys is that the one thing that's going to cause you, if you are of the elect, if you're of the elect of Israel and you're following these brothers, the one thing that's going to condemn you, that will give you below zero chance of receiving to be considered for any salvation, is if you take the mark of the beast. The mark of the beast is the RFID chip. So that's the importance of that particular wrong stumbling block that these guys are pushing out there. Is everything else, right? If you go off on everything else, right, it doesn't mean that you're not going to receive salvation. It just means that the veil is still over your eyes and the Lord has not awoken you to those truths. But it won't mean that you will not receive salvation, because those acts, the act of not believing that Cornelius is a Negro, or the act of not believing that the Edomites can't receive salvation, or the act of not believing that no heathen nation can receive salvation, or the act of not believing that the Gentiles that the Bible speaks of are the Israelite Gentiles, and that there are two types of Gentiles. There are heathen Gentiles and there are Israelite Gentiles. The act of not believing, say, those 4 particular points will not stop you from receiving salvation if you are of the elect and your name and your book is in the book of life. This is what I'm saying to you, because maybe right at the end, the Lord reveals all of those things to you, and you get to realize at the end that these things, those 4 points, were true. That Esau can't receive salvation, that the heathens, nations cannot receive salvations, that there is rape in the Bible, it speaks of it, and also that there are 2 types of Gentiles, Israelite Gentiles and heathen Gentiles, all right? So that may be revealed to you at the last moment, all right? But those not believing or not understanding those 4 points won't necessarily stop you from receiving salvation if you are one of the elect of Israel. But if you receive the RFID chip in you, if you accept that RFID chip in the back of your head or in your right hand or left hand, whichever hand you put it in, you have received the mark of the beast. Once you've received the mark of the beast, this is what your future is, right? Your future will be this. Revelations 14, chapter 14, verse 9. And when the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone, which is the nuclear fallout, in the presence of the holy angels, because the Lord's chariots are going to be there witnessing this after they've gathered the elect of Israel from the 4 corners of the world, and they're going to take part in the destruction of America, right? And in the presence of the Lamb, which is Yahweh Shem Yahushai, right? And the smoke of their torment ascends up forever and ever. So that's the mushroom clouds going up into the atmosphere. And they have no rest day or night who worship the beast and his image, and whoever receives the mark of his name, because that fire is going to be going on for a very long time. That fire of lake and brimstone in America, it's going to be going on for a very long time before it's outed and it comes back to dust again. All right, so that's the outcome. So this is why I say this particular stumbling block here that they're leading you to will lead you to your death. To your death. There is no recompense, there's no way of receiving salvation. I don't care what you do, what things that you're doing, good things that you may think you're doing in bringing out the word of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Once you receive that mark, that's it. That's going to be, there was a boxer called Lights Out Tony, James Toney. That's what it's going to be like. You're going to be like that. It's going to be like James Toney. Let me bring him up, man. I'll tell you. I'm sure that's what he was called. James Toney, the boxer. Yeah, see him there? I'm sure that's what his nickname was called. Lights Out Tony. So look at some images of him. It might show it, all right? 40-year-old James Toney. Yeah, see it here? That's my boy. James, Lights Out Tony. He's so dangerous. I remember him, man. Anyone that come in front of him, right, he was knocking them out like madness. They were gone, lights out. And that's what's going to happen to you lot. If you accept, and I tell you this, and I guarantee this, right? And I don't need to swear on anything, tell you this, because like I said, it's against scripture to swear on anything. But I can tell you this, 1,000,000,000% guarantee. You take the RFID chip, you have taken the mark of the beast. And once you take that, you're going to end up like this. Like what James Toney used to do. Lights out. That's it. There's no coming back. Your lights are out. Lights out, Tony. You're going to be just like when James Toney gave them that right hook. Lights out, Tony. Done. Finish. No coming back. Zero coming back. There's no redemption, no salvation, nothing. You're gone. Finished. Boom. Destroyed. The only way you'll come back, if you're of Israel, is in the reincarnation. Once you're dead, you're being destroyed through the nuclear fallout or through radiation, whatever. However the Lord decides to take you on the judgment day, you're only going to come back in the reincarnation. But you're not going to survive and receive the salvation and be part of this. Basically be part of the coming back of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, the part of the kingdom of heaven coming here for its first time, to be part of Israel, redeeming back Israel, to be part of us hunting down Esau and putting them in chains, to be part of having all the other nations under your feet. You won't see you enjoy anything like that until you come back in the reincarnation. All right, but you'll die a terrible death. And then when you do come back, the Lord is going to remind you. You're going to know of what it was that caused you to die during the destruction. You're going to know what it was. And he's going to make it quite clear to you because you took the RFID chip, which is the mark of the beast. So this is what I would say to these guys, like I said. So I'm coming to these guys, right? I'm saying to them, look, I'm doing a Romans 10. I'm going to read Romans 10 from 1 to 3. Brethren, My heart's desire and prayer to the Most High for Israel is that they might be saved. Because that's my heart's desire. Because for all their wickedness, they're still of Israel. They are Israelites. For all their wickedness and they're leading their sheep to the slaughter, they are still of Israel. Right? So my heart's desire is that their eyes do open. Same thing with Zabak. For all he's preaching and leading his people to destruction by preaching that the mark of the beast is religion or philosophy or an image, that it's not the RFID chip, he's leading every single one of his congregation to death and to destruction. So, but my heart's desire is that all Israel might be saved. But we know that Israel might be saved. So we know it's only 1/3 of Israel is going to receive salvation. So I say again, if for some reason they're awakened, they get awakened, that the veil gets removed, my heart desires for them to be saved. But this is where they're at the moment. This is where these guys are at the moment. For I bear them record that they have a zeal of the Most High. So they have a zeal of the Most High. They're out on the highways and byways bringing out the words. They're telling people that they're telling our people that they're Hebrew Israelites. They're telling Esau that he's the devil and that he's the sons of the wicked and so forth. Right? Zabak's doing the same thing. He's out on the highways and byways telling that. But where he's leading them astray is by telling them that the mark of the beast is not the RFID chip. This is his Achilles heel. This is Adam Abbott's Achilles heel. Right? And it's their pride. And I can tell you this, their pride, their absolute pride is what's keeping them in that hole that they've dug for themselves, that they can't see any way out. Right? Simple as that. So, and this is what it is. They have the zeal of the Most High, but not according to knowledge. Not according to knowledge. Because there can only be one truth when it comes to the scriptures. They can't be sitting there, Adam Abbots can't be sitting there telling people that the mark of the beast is religion, the Catholic religion or Islam or whatever belief or image and so forth, and that it's not the RFID chip. Zabak can't be sitting there telling these people that the RFID chip is religion and so forth, right? Because the only way he's doing that is because he has the zeal of the Most High, but he doesn't have it according to knowledge. Because if Zabak really swallowed his pride, swallow your pride, Zabak, swallow it, get some, whatever you need to drink, man, to get that taste out of your mouth. Get rid of that pride that's swallowed around in your mouth, right? Get rid of that taste and truly revisit Revelations 13 and 16 and through the Spirit study and look at what those words are telling you in their original format. Look at what the 666 means, what Charagma means for what Charagma means, and what the root word of Charagma is, Charax. And then you've got stigma. You're looking at 666 and you're looking at what the last part of the 666 means, stigma, and that what its original etymology of those words mean. In the Spirit, look at this thing and look at what's going on around the world and look at where all technology is going and how everything is working, and look at it in the Spirit and come back to yourself and sit down, right, and meditate and find and truly ask yourself, could it truly have been what you're telling? Swallow your pride, Zabak, and you will see the truth. Swallow your pride and the veil will be removed from your eyes. The same thing with you, Adam. You need to swallow that pride, that young boy pride that you have, that you believe that you're right about everything. You know this, you know that, you know that. You had teachers like everybody else, like myself. We had teachers that showed us the way, and through the Spirit of Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shai Bashim, Rakah Kadash, we're able now to go into the scriptures and start breaking them down. But when you're diverting with these truths and try to tell people that, oh, it's religion and it's belief and it's images, RFID chip, that is an out and out lie. Swallow your pride and see the truth, because you're leading them to their death. That's what you're doing, right? So it says, for they being ignorant, this is what they are. They're ignorant of the Most High's righteousness. And that's what they're doing, and going about to establish their own righteousness. So this is what Adam Abbas is doing. He's going about to establish his own righteousness by telling people the mark of the beast is not the RFID chip. Zabak is doing the same thing. He's going about establishing his own righteousness by telling the people, even though the truth is as plain as, listen, I can show my little young nephews, 14, 15, 16, 7-year-old nephews, this, and they'll understand this, and they're not even in the truth, but they'll understand that just by seeing that, reading that, they'll understand that, yes, it's got to be something that they're going to put in you that you're going to have to use to buy and to sell, to move around and so forth. They understand that. And they're not even in the truth as deep as these brothers that have been in it for Zabak probably 25 years, for him to believe that. But this is what they're doing. This is what Zabak and Adam Abbots are doing by telling people that, and any other Israelite camp out there that's telling people that RFID chip is not the mark of the beast and that it's religion. This is what they're doing. For they, being ignorant of the Most High's righteousness and going about to establish their own righteousness, have not submitted themselves unto the righteousness of the Most High. And that's what they need to do, because if they truly submit themselves to the righteousness of the Most High and they eat that humble pie, it's a beautiful pie that we all have to eat from time to time, and it's called the humble pie. And after you eat it, it spiritually builds you up again, because through your humbleness, you're able now to sit down and see and meditate and spiritually see these things. You can see it. You can see it. It's as clear as day. Like I said, you can show this to kindergarten kids in primary schools, and they will be able to understand Revelations 13 and 16 and verse 16 and 17, right? Without knowing anything about the Bible. They'd probably be able to deduce from reading those two precepts that this is an actual physical thing that they're going to be putting inside people, or that you're going to need to have on you or to carry around, or whatever whatever their answer would be. They would be able to deduce that this ain't talking about a religion or an image or philosophy. This is talking about something physical. But this is what Zabak and Adam Abbots are doing. They're going about establishing their own righteousness and have not submitted themselves unto the righteousness of the Most High, because these guys have a lot of people that watch their videos, right? Just like Zabak, all right? So, out of all those people that are watching, they're all watching and listening and believing what Adam Abbots is telling them about the mark of the beast, right? I said to you already that there are a lot of stuff that these guys are on point with. They'll tell the people that they're Hebrew Israelites, they know that Esau's the devil and so forth. But those two things are not going to stop you from receiving salvation. If you're Israel and of the elect, what's going to stop you from receiving salvation is if you accept the RFID chip, which is the mark of the beast. By not agreeing with them about Esau is not going to stop you from receiving salvation. By not agreeing with them about who the actual Israelites are, who these people are, it's not going to stop you receiving salvation. Yeah. If you are one of the elect and if your name's in the book of life. But if you follow these guys and accept what they say about the mark of the beast and you take the RFID chip, you are condemned. And I will put it on them. I will say to Adam, since you're so sure, and the rest of your motley crew, because that's what I call them, the motley crew, the rest of your motley crew, if you're so sure that the RFID chip is not the mark of the beast, why don't you go and take it and do a video where you injecting the chip into you and say, look, this is how sure I am in my belief. I'm going to put it in me, boom, just chipping me, this RFID chipping me, and this is how sure I am that it's not the mark of the beast. Why don't you go and do that, Adam Abbots, and do a live video and show people that? And I would suggest the same to you, Zabak. Why don't you go and do a live video injecting yourself with the RFID chip, since your belief is so strong that the mark of the beast is not the RFID chip? Why don't you do a live on-air video with you injecting yourself with the RFID chip and say, look, this is how strong my belief is, since you truly believe that. Because in my spirit, I don't believe you do, Zabak. And I'm not sure what's causing you to go that route, except you could be paid by the Illuminati, by the powers, the bankers that be, to propagate that message out there, that's not the mark of the beast. That's the only thing I can think why you could be so gone off. Whereas you boys, you're just pride. You're pride. You little young boys there think that you just came into the truth and worked out the scriptures and worked out Daniel 7 and Daniel 11 and Daniel 12, which I probably don't even know how to break them down, and Revelations 20, right, and Isaiah 30, 34 and Jeremiah, and all of a sudden you brought all these scriptures all by your wonderful self. Well, that's another lie. Like all of us, we had to find credible teachers. And yes, oh yes, absolutely right. My teachers were GMS, were the elders of GMS, was me through visiting them, through watching their videos. Those were my teachers, yeah, that taught me this truth, that kept me on the straight and narrow through the Spirit, through the Holy Spirit, and through the calling of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, not through myself. I didn't get up one morning and could break down scriptures and I thought, oh, I'm some clever dude that can break down scriptures or whatever. No. This took the years in the making, the years in studying, the years with studying the works of GMS, the years with visiting them from time to time in the camps and listening to the word, and the years of me doing it, my work myself, and bringing out until I was able to produce my own videos, go out in the street and myself and do my own talking and so forth and that, right? I had a teacher, credible teacher, and through the Holy Spirit, he kept me on the straight and narrow and removed the veil from my eyes, so I was able to see these things in the scriptures. So it wasn't a thing where, oh, GMS would just say something, I'll just say, oh yeah, that's the gospel. I always did my due diligence and research, and through Yahweh Shem, Yahweh Shai, and the Holy Spirit, I could see exactly what it is that they were showing me. Simple as that. But you guys have got too much pride on you. Too much pride. So, we're in Romans chapter 11, verse 9. And as David says, let their table be a snare and a trap and a stumbling block and a recompense unto them. Because that's what's happened. Your table is a snare, right? And a trap and a recompense unto you. And the same things happen to you, Zabak. Your table is a snare and a trap and a recompense unto you. Because the one thing that you're preaching about, the mark of the beast, is not the RFID chip. This is the thing that you have no chance of redemption, salvation, right? No chance of knowing if you ever was going to be part of the, well, if you were part of the elect, right, then you wouldn't be blinded. And all I can only say is about the fact that you're pushing that you're not part of the elect. You're not part of even, so should I say the hopeful elect, because no one knows who the elect is. So let me rephrase that. You're not part of the hopeful elect, because the hopeful elect will not be pushing that the mark of the beast is religion or culture or an image. The hopeful elect will be pushing that the mark of the beast is the RFID chip, radio frequency identifier. So it says, let their eyes be darkened. That's what's happened to them. Their eyes have been darkened. So Adam Abbott's eyes have been darkened, and so have Zabak's eyes been darkened when it comes to Revelations, when it comes to the mark of the beast. Their eyes have been totally darkened. All right. It says, let their eyes be darkened that they may not see, and bow down their back away. All right. And that's what they've done. That's exactly what they've done. And if you go to Psalms, this is where David said it in Psalms. It says, let their table become a snare before them. So their table has become a snare before them. All right? It's become a snare. So anyone that's coming to listening to them is walking into that snare, right? Because the table that they're pushing to you is the scriptures. And it's become a snare unto them because they have no understanding of what the mark of the beast is. All right? So their table has become a snare unto them. And that which should have been for their welfare, which is the scriptures, right? Should have been for their welfare, the scriptures. Same thing with Zabak. Should have been for your welfare, the scriptures, and understanding the scriptures, all right? And that which had been for their welfare, let it become a trap. It's become a trap to you. It's become a trap because you're telling people that the mark of the beast is religion, that it's philosophy, that it's an image. You as well, Sabak, you're telling people that the mark of the beast is religion, it's the Catholic religion, it's the disbelief system, whatever, right? But that's what's happened to you. It says, let their eyes be darkened. It says, so let it become a trap to them. So it says, we go back again, it says, let their table become a snare before them, which it has. Their table has become a snare, because anyone that comes to listen to that truth and stand up in front of them and they're telling them that the mark of the beast is religion, their table has become a snare. It's entrapping those people to believe that propaganda that they're telling them, right? And that which should have been for their welfare, which is the scriptures that they're bringing to the people, the word of Yahweh Shem Shai, let it become a trap. It's become a trap to them because they've totally misrepresented what the mark of the beast is, all right? It says, let their eyes be darkened that see not, and make their lions continually to shake. So their eyes have darkened because they can't see. When they're reading Revelations 13, right, and 6, they can't see 13 and verse 16. They can't see. It's quite clearly showing you that the mark of the beast is physical. It's a physical. It's something physical. It's not religion. And that physical thing is a state, Charagma. It means a state, something that they're going to put in, an imprint, right? A mark that they're going to put on you. And when you look at look, we can quickly show you, right? Sorry. Let me go to Revelations 13, 16. We'll just quickly show you so you can just quickly see once again. All right? So we look at the word mark and we show you once again. It means, because remember, this is what he's added. This is John the Revelator's vision. Charagma, a stamp, an imprinted mark. That's what it is, right? The mark, branded, right? It's something that's branded, something that's going to be put on you. And this is that. And how do we know? You go to the root. Charax is the root. Charax, a pale or a stake, a pale side. So when John the Revelator's got this vision, he's seeing an hypodermic needle. If you can imagine a hypodermic needle in someone's hand, or he's seeing that hypodermic needle by itself, right? And the little RFID chip next to it, which has been put in it that they're going to inject in people. To John the Revelator, that looks like a charax, like a pail or a stake. He's never seen a hypodermic needle before in his life. Never. So the closest thing that he could describe what he's seen in that vision was a pail or a stake, right? A pale side. Pails between which the earth, stones, trees and timbers are heaped and packed together, right? It's something, look, to sharpen, to a point, a kin, through the idea of scratching, a stake, yeah? And that's what it is. So it's a sharp object, it's a point, it's a stake, a pale side, and that's what you put in the ground, what you're sticking in the ground when you're building a fence and so forth. So that's what he saw. That's the closest thing that John the Baptist, he could see to it. And then so when you go now, you say, okay, right, so we understand what the word mark is, right? It means a pale, a stake, right? Which in his vision would look like a hypodermic needle, right? And if we go and you look at, well, where are we? So when we go in, and it says that no man might buy or sell. So I don't know how, I say, well, how's religion getting to that, people? That you need to be a Catholic or a Muslim to buy or sell. Save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that has the understanding, and this is what they don't have. They don't have the understanding. Nor does the back have that understanding when it comes to Revelations 13 and 16. I'm sorry, but you do not have that understanding of Revelations 13 and 16, you guys. Right? It says, here is wisdom, right? Let him that has understanding count the number of the beast, for the number of a man, and his number is 666. So when you go and you look at 666, right? It's chi-xi-stigma, right? See? Chi-xi-stigma, all right? So then you go looking at, okay, so it says here, 666, the meaning of which is the basis of much vain, it says here, vain speculation. So now we're going to look at the root meaning of this word, right? So it's saying here, it says chi-xi-stigma, all right? That's the word. I can't pronounce it. Chi-xi-stigma, right? The 22nd, 14th, and an absolute letter, right? So then when you look at it, we're going to look at Strong's G4742, right? Let's see what it says about the word stigma, all right? See, stigma, all right? Let's see what it says. A mark pricked in or branded upon the body, all right? To ancient oriental usage, slaves and soldiers bore the name or the stamp of their master or commander, branded or pricked, cut into their bodies, to indicate what master or general they belong to. And there were even some devotees who stamped themselves in this way with the token of their gods. So once again, a mark pricked in or branded upon the body. All right. How is that not an hypodermic needle that's going to be pricking you with and injecting into you an RFID chip, which is a mark, and your owner is going to be the government or the country or whatever that you're living in is going to be your owner for, just like how they, you know, you're in America, they call it social security card. In England, they call it your national insurance card. That's how they identify you in terms of where you work, how much tax you got to pay, how many different jobs you have, and, you know, those are the things. So this is going to have all of that information on that, right? That and much more stuff on it, right? Because it's going to be what you're going to use to buy and sell and so forth. So it says a mark pricked in or branded upon the body. To ancient oriental usage, slaves and soldiers bore the name of the stamp of their master or commander, branded or pricked, which is cut. That's what the needle's going to do. It's going to prick you, break the skin into their bodies to indicate what master or general they belong to. And there were even some devotees who stamped themselves, right? So how can this not be what John the Revelator saw? When you looked at the word mark, it was charagma, it was a stake or a pale side. So the stake that he saw was the hypodermic needle. What's going to be pricked into you is the RFID chip, right? That's why it says, and he that has the name or the mark is 666-stigma, which is the actual chip itself. How can it not be the RFID chip? How can it not be something physical? How can how can these guys be truly telling you it's something else when it's quite clear it shows you what it is? So, back to them again, Ephesians 4:17. This I say therefore, and testify, so it's to the Lord, Yahushua Mashiach, that ye henceforth walk not as other Gentiles walk, in vanity of their mind. Because that's what they're walking. These guys are walking like other Gentiles. In vanity, which is the pride in their minds. They're walking just like other Gentiles when it comes to the mark of the beast. Right? Let their eyes, having their understanding darkened, being alienated from the life of the Most High through the ignorance that is in them, because of the blindness of their heart, which is their mind. I'm going to read that verse again. It says, having their understanding darkened, right? Because that's what's happened to them. The understanding of the mark of the beast has been darkened when it comes to these guys, because they don't understand what the mark of the beast is. They truly do not, all right? So it says, having their understanding darkened, being alienated from the life of the Most High through the ignorance of that is, through the ignorance that is in them. So these guys have been alienated from the Most High through the ignorance that's in them, because they are telling people that the mark of the beast is not the RFID chip. The same thing with Zabak. These guys are alienating themselves, right? Let's read it again. Being alienated from the life of the Most High, what? Through the ignorance that is in them. It's as simple as that, all right? Because of the blindness of their heart. Why? Because of the blindness of their heart. Their heart is their mind. It's exactly where he's going to take the chip, in his mind. Him as well and his brethren, right? Since it's religion, they're all going to get that chip, because the blindness is in their mind. They can't see it. They're reading these scriptures all day long, but they can't see it. And I can't understand that they can't see it, except what the Lord says. The veil is still over their eyes. And he's left them to go about to establish their own righteousness instead of the righteousness of Yahweh Bashim Hawashai Bashim Rakar Kadash. That's the righteousness they're meant to be establishing. All right, just like it tells you here. They've gone about, for them being ignorant of the Most High's righteousness and going about to establish, this is Romans chapter 10 verse 3, for they being ignorant of the Most High's righteousness and going about to establish their own righteousness, have not submitted themselves unto the righteousness of the Most High, because they haven't. All right, so we go back to Ephesians. It says, having the understanding darkened, being alienated from the life of the Most High through the ignorance that is in them. And that's what's happened. They've been alienated, right? Through the life of the Most High, through the ignorance that's in them when it comes to the mark of the beast, right? Because of the blindness of their heart, which is their mind. All right, it's as simple as that. So Romans chapter 14 verse 11. For it is written, as I live, says Yahweh Shai Mashiach, every knee shall bow to me. Everyone's going to bow. Everyone, even these misrepresenting devils, Israelites that are misrepresenting the truth, are going to bow on that day. They're going to bow. They're going to bow, and they're going to know, and they're going to see. All right? Every knee shall bow, and every tongue shall confess. And they're going to have to confess to the Most High, to Yahushua, to the angels before they're destroyed. How is it that you were showing this from many different angles, from many different Israelite camps and brothers that were bringing this truth to you, that you still could not see it? How is it, Zabak, you cannot see it? Truly, Zabak, how is it you cannot see that? How? So it says, so then every one of us shall give account of himself to the Most High, because they're going to have to give account for why they led all of those tens of thousands of people that come to see them, that watch their videos online, how they led them astray. They're going to have to give an account to the Most High how they led those people astray when it came to the one thing that they could never reverse or correct for them to receive salvation. Because once you accept that mark, that's it. There's no like, oh, I've got the chip now. Oh, and then 2 weeks later you think, no, I shouldn't have it. You know, I think those boys are right. Let me go and take it out now. And you go and take it out yourself, or you go somewhere to take it out. No. That's done. From you accept the mark, that's it. All bets are off. Like I said, you're going to be like James Toney. Lights out, Tony. You're going to be bang, knocked out. Lights out. There's no coming back from a James Toney lights out here. And that's what the Lord's going to give you. He's going to give you a James Toney lights out. You're going to be lights out, Tony. That's what's going to happen to you guys. All right. So it says here, For then every one of us shall give account of himself to the Most High, which they're going to have to. So let us not therefore judge one another anymore, all right? But judge this rather, listen carefully, that no man put a stumbling block. Because this is what we're trying to do. We're trying to see if we can help them remove that stumbling block, but they can't see it. That no man put a stumbling block or an occasion to fall in his brother's way. And that's what we're trying to do, because we understand that these guys are of Israel and that they are our brothers, right? And we're not trying to stand in their way. We're trying to remove that stumbling block that's in their way. But they don't want that. They want to go with their own knuckleheads and continue preaching that propaganda that the mark of the beast is religion or philosophy or an image. That is such BS. It's what it says here. Let us not therefore judge one another anymore. All right? Because we're here to what's the word? To correct you. We're not here to judge you. We're here to correct you. All right? But judge this rather. This is what we're going to judge. That no man put a stumbling block. Because there's a stumbling block in front of you, but you guys can't see it. Or an occasion to fall in his brother's way, all right? And we're trying to help that, remove that from you, but you refuse. Your pride, Adam Abbott's, is going to lead all of them. I tell you, it's going to be a spectacular death for you and all those that you brought with you. And it's like, and I can just see the Lord having you sit there and watching all of those that you brought into your fold, that you made believe that they can accept the RFID chip and that it's not the mark of the beast. I can see the Lord having you stand there and watching all of them perish one after the other, and then your judgment comes last. Because you can't see it, you refuse to see it, and you continue to propagate something else, even though it seems to me, when I watch one of your videos, you don't have any true understanding of Revelation chapter 13. And the same thing with you, Zabak. Probably the only thing you guys understand in Revelation chapter 13 is 13 and 9, when it says, if any man ever hear, let him hear. He that leads captivity shall gain the captivity. He that kill with the sword shall kill with the sword. That's probably the only parts of Revelation chapter 13 you guys understand. So this is going to be your fault. To me, belongeth vengeance. This is what the Most High is going to deal with you. Because it's going to be vengeance going to deal with you for the wickedness that you've done by telling people that. All right? I pray that there's enough time for you guys to come out of that. But the pride that's on you and the refusal to actually see that, to look and to truly investigate that, is your pride. So this is what will befall you because of your pride. To me, which is the Most High, belongeth vengeance and recompense. Their foot shall slide in due time. Because your foot is going to slide in due time. It's going to slide. Watch and see. For the day of their calamity, because the day of your calamity is at hand. Right? The day of your calamity, Adam Abbas, is at hand. And the same thing for you, Zabak. The day of your calamity is at hand. Because the thing that you're preaching about, the mark of the beast, is one of the most important things in the scriptures. Because I say this again, if you convince people to take the RFID chip, you've convinced them to take the mark of the beast. If you convince people that the RFID chip is not the mark of the beast, then you're telling them it's okay to take it, which means you're leading them to their death. There is no chance of anyone of any hopeful elect of Israel to receive salvation if they're part of the hopeful elect once they've taken the RFID chip by listening to you, Sabak, or listening to you, Adam Abbots, when it comes to the mark of the beast issue. All right, so this is what's going to happen. For the day of their calamity is at hand. The day of your calamity is at hand, and the things that shall come upon, them, make haste. Right? Because the Lord shall judge his people and repent himself for his servants when he sees that their power is gone and there is none shut up or left. All right. So, I can go on and on and on and on. But like I said once again, you guys here are telling people that the mark of the beast is religion, a philosophy, or an image. That is going to lead them to their destruction along with you. The same goes for you, Sabak. You're telling people that the mark of the beast is religion, a philosophy, or an image. That will lead to your destruction and all those that listen to you. Like I said, boys, you need to search the scriptures diligently if you truly want to remove the veil from your eyes and swallow that pride. Get a load of water like this, and swallow that pride, and then go to the bakery and go and buy yourself 2 humble pies and eat that pie with that swallowed pride, and you will see that truth. And the same thing goes to you, Adam Abbots. You need to go and drink some water and swallow that pride, get rid of it, and then go down to your local bakeries and buy yourself 2 beautiful humble pies and eat those humble pies. And maybe then you'll see the truth when it comes to the stumbling block of certain things in the scriptures. So on that note, all praises to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakah, Kwadash, Tawada, Amen. Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shai. All praises.